All right, guys. We've got another big WTL match. World Team League with Cure in the bottom left side of the map, Hero in the top right for WEIBO Gaming. And Hero is going for his trademark, sending one of his first probes across the map. Hero and WEIBO Gaming has players like Oliveira backing him up. Cure has guys like Clem, Oliveira, Skillous backing him up. Two teams that are very highly rated in this league. They are not the top teams. Obviously, that's always Basilisk and Vitality. But they are very, very good. And they've got like individual players like Hero, Clem, Cure that are obviously very top rated. And especially if Cure can dodge the TVZ matchup, he is one of the best in the world. I think Cure, stark difference, night and day, if you compare his verse Zerg versus his verse Protoss and Terran. So this matchup specifically gives me a lot of excitement because I really feel like Cure is one of the big reasons Protoss don't perform well in tournaments. There's a couple of players that are so good at sniping Protoss, guys like Cure and Beyond especially. They don't do well versus the top couple of Zergs. They'll never really beat like a Serral or a Raynor at a LAN tournament, but they will absolutely smash the heroes, the classics, the showtimes more often than not. They are so dangerous in this matchup. And that's been a big thing. If you look at Dallas, Katowice, or a lot of these last few tournaments, it really is that way. Chat says, I feel like Liquid should have better results, but they're underperforming this year. I think part of it is that Cure just has such a big weakness in TVZ. So anytime he's playing TVZ, you've got like, when he's playing TVP or TVT, Cure is, like I said, best player in the world, potentially, in some matchups, especially this matchup. TVZ, he suddenly becomes like a rank 35, rank 50 pro gamer, whereas he's top 5 against Terran and Protoss. And that's just such a weird drop-off, and he, I think, has been matching a lot of Zerg, so it's been hard for him to get the results they'd like. And you also just got to look at that lineup and realize Clem is obviously really good, but he's a little weak to like Korean Protosses and Korean Terrans. You know, if he was just playing versus Dark every week, versus any Zerg that's not Serral or Raynor, he'd probably win every match. But that's the thing, is Cure's weak against Zerg, Clem's weak against non-Zerg players. Like, all of their players are exceptional at certain things. Laser, really good against Protoss. Skillous, funnily enough, is probably the most even player in terms of his skill level across all three matchups, right? I feel like a Laser kind of struggles versus Terran a little bit, I'd say, as well. I think Skillous is probably the most balanced between the three matchups, but he's also the overall lowest performing of the players. Now, you could argue, actually, do you guys think Skillous is better than a Laser now? Ooh, Jamie, can you look up their rankings? If someone could look that up, I say Jamie, like anyone who's watching in the chat, because I'm really curious now who's higher out of those two. Anyway, let's talk about these builds while we get that stat looked up. Because I think Skillous has improved so much. He got second place in that big tournament in China. So I think he's really moved up the rankings. I think he's very good. Does scout the Phoenix play here. Nice move from Cure. Let's talk about the players in hand. Reaper's going to get one probe, probably going to die, so might as well go for the second. Can he get the last hit off? Oh! He barely got the second hit off. Nicely done. I didn't think he would. So for those who don't know, the Reaper actually has 2 pistols in its hand, and it's technically 2 attacks combined into one. And you can technically die in the middle of it, where half of your damage gets off and the other half doesn't. Ooh, letting him up the ramp, maybe a mistake. I like the pre-pull on the SCVs, extra Marines popping, and that's probably a good cancel on that Shade for Hero. So Hero loses 3 probes in total for 1 Reaper early game. Oh, are we going to really fight this? This seems like a crazy move. I mean, he ends up getting two Marines. Oh, nice hot pick up there for Cure. 3 Marines. Adept goes down. Phoenix gets damaged. Are we going to shade in? Yes, we are. They're damaged SCVs. Oh, and look at the way he's split firing. He's making sure he split his attacks up to attack different units. Nice hot pick up on the SCV. You could tell he was going to target it. So Cure quickly picked up that last SCV. Did minimize the damage. 3 Adepts, 3 Probes. So 3 SCVs, a Reaper, 3 Marines. Very even trading in this early game. And a second and third gateway and a battery go down. This does create a bit of an awkward choke point here. Now you have to move in from this side all the way around the south. I think in general, guys, if that gateway was down a space so you could move through there as well, you'd give yourself a bit more freedom of movement. Hero regularly throws down his buildings wherever he feels like in the moment, and it does lead to some very weird choke points backfiring sometimes later on. Oh, good pullback on the weak Phoenix, but actually, no, he went back in. He did not need to go back in. Does lose a Phoenix, nonetheless, getting a Viking kill is great. Big attack on the front. He just has no units to do damage right now. He's trying to pick up the Widow Mine. He will take out the Widow Mine. Watch out for the Widow Mine. Okay, luckily it only hit 2 probes there. The Cyclone does get picked up as well. The Phoenix are back. Oh, he's trying to go after the Medevac and also the Cyclone at the same time. He wants the best of both worlds, and he gets it. Very well played. Third and fourth gas have come up here for Hero. 60 out of 62 supply, up 4 workers. Third command center goes down for Cure. This is an action-packed disaster of an early game, but I got to give it to Hero because most of his Phoenix is still alive. If you look at the tech units, Cyclone, Viking, Medevac, 2 Widowmines all died, only 1 Phoenix died. Hero's in a very good position, and he's going to spiral it. He's going to try and spiral this out of control. Another Cyclone goes down. If these Marines go down, it might just be game over right here, right now. If that Viking goes down, it is a disaster. Oh no, he couldn't quite target the Reddit point Viking. There is a 1 hit point Phoenix in the middle of there. And Hero catapults that early chaos to a victory. Remember, he started that game with a single probe going across at the very start, disrupted Cure's build order, slowed down his barracks, and then he was just in his face from start to finish. And this is one of those games that's so frustrating as a Terran, and I guarantee you, it's a few tiny things. I missed 3 seconds on my Marine production. I accidentally didn't raise my depot. Oh, I didn't have my Widow Mine on the natural. It was in the main, and then all the fighting was in the natural. Oh, I should have got a Cyclone out of it. It's those little things that stack up, but Hero, he will punish you the moment you leave an opening, and he gets an early Game 1 victory. All right, guys, Q now on the top right side of Post Youth. This map's probably a little better for Terran than Protoss, I think. Now, to be fair, we did have a little stat get dropped. Mr. Big, our Jamie in the chat today, said Skillous is currently ranked 22 in the world, a laser ranked 26. So yeah, Skillous has overtaken a laser in the rankings. That fantastic performance over in China really helped beefing him up there. So yeah, wouldn't be surprised to see Skillous come in as the 3rd player other than Clem in this matchup. I think we actually know the players and the lineup for the first 3 matches ahead of time. Of course, you don't know the ace match if it does get there, as that one gets decided blind in the heat of the moment. Hero scouting for proxies right now, doesn't find it, goes back with his worker. Are we going gold base? Or are you just looking for proxies right now? Okay, he's just looking for proxies, fair enough. Probes going forward. He's really, wow. Yeah, he's gonna go gold base. Okay, check for proxies into blind gold base. I like it. I like it. Hero, nothing like a gold base. I mean, so there's a reason. You guys, you ever see a moth to a flame? You know, a moth to a light? Well, Hero is like that with a gold base. He doesn't consciously want to take the gold base. He often doesn't. I've talked to him. I've said, why do you always take the gold base? He says, I don't want to, man. It's a curse. And I'm like, what? He's like, I can't not. I'm trapped. I'm trapped. I just, you know, it's like watching that moth stuck in that circle, just going around and around and around and around. It's trying to fly away. It's trying to go find some food or breed or do some other thing that it needs to exist. But there's something about the gold base in Hero where he can't resist. It is physically painful for Hero to not take a gold base. He just can't do it. And fair enough. You know this is a Terran going against him. You know you got to check for a mixture of proxies, because normally it's proxy into gold base from Hero. Right, he tries to get you scared, then goes for the gold base. This is just a straight up, I'm taking gold base. Let's see what I can get away with. Pig, you are also correct on Skillous's matchups being most even. He's actually got a 62% win rate across all 3 matchups. That's kind of cool. That's pretty rare. Is his rating the same, though? I guess more than win percentage, I think the rating in each matchup probably matters more, because it depends who you play against. And I'm sure there's a bit more differentiation there. Stargate does come down for Hero. So he's playing a lot of Stargate today. Cool. He's already got a Stalker out. Probe micro should be good enough to not lose any. And he does indeed pull away. Reaper can rotate, so if you chase him, he could actually dart in there and get a probe. Q is going to play it safe as he goes for the Starport himself. Thinking about maybe a Medevac or a Viking behind this. Thanks for hanging out, Box Power. Catch you later, mate. Stalker's going to push him back. There is a battery on both bases, which is a very good call. I think when you take a gold like this, you kind of need to build the battery on each base. He did see the factory timing, so he knows it's an expansion into factory. It's not like a crazy fast one. What he doesn't know about is the reactor first, though. Widowmine's just walking up to the base. Cure. That's a crazy move. I mean, is it? I don't think it's worth it. It's a bad move, right? Because you're just going to lose both Widowmines. Oh, but wait, maybe this makes it worth it. Reaper in the main base. Reaper already got a kill earlier. It's now got itself a second kill. There is a shield battery nearby. Good micro by Hero. Yeah, very good micro. The Stalker hits the Nexus. Is like, you go, Reaper. I admire your bravery walking into a proto space. He gets another kill. Nice grenade to bounce it away. Not bad. Not bad damage. I'm losing the 2 Widowmines, not worth it, but getting the damage with that was worth it. And 4 Widowmine drop. And then he's going to swap into a Viking. A Viking, a tank, and marine production. Oh, hello. Here come the boom booms. Does he drop all 4? Drops 3. Oh. And Phoenix does take some damage. Picks up the last one before it can fire. Nicely done. Yeah, nicely done. The Widowmine's going to try to run away. So he's going to try and hunt down everything. I mean, this is Hero, in a nutshell, is trying to hunt down units in opposite directions. He's like, most people would just hunt down those 2 Widowmines. Hero's like, no, man. I'm going to go for broke. You give me an opportunity to frantically micro and multitask, I will do it. Doesn't end up getting the medevac. Does end up killing these Widowmines without letting them get a shot off. And does get supply blocked as the price he pays for that pretty badly. He still hasn't realized he's supply blocked, guys. There we go. Starts the pylon now. So he's going to miss about 3.5 probes of production from this supply block. That's pretty nasty. The Phoenix getting the extra damage on the medevac absolutely wasn't worth it. That's the sort of move where if you don't get supply blocked, super cool. If you get supply blocked, that sort of move is never worth it. And it's cool that even at this level, you see players sometimes make the wrong call, being a little greedy in a situation like that. Third Nexus comes down. Robo coming up as well. We've got the 4 gas. Where's the Robo Bay at? Where's that Robo Bay? I guess you can't build it till the Robo's done, Pig. So wash your eyes out, mate. Gotta get some new glasses or something. What's going on, dude? 3 barracks have started stim. We should be seeing combat shields coming in soon. Once again, not hosting Observer++. I'm very surprised that the admins... Maybe it's because they want to put their own overlays on it, so they don't want any of like the pop-ups on the screen, because they've kind of got some Chinese ads and stuff on the stream for their sponsorships. That makes sense. Maybe that's why they don't use the better viewing mods. Viking goes down. Widowmine in the mineral line, unable to fire there. If you fly in, a Widowmine hits you, that missile turret's going to kill like 2 or 3 Phoenix. So good choice to pull out when he did. Turret on the front as well. Third command center goes down just past 6 minutes. It's a kind of macro-ish situation right now. The Stalkers out front kind of make it look like a Blink follow-up, but you don't normally go Blink after Phoenix. And in fact, it is actually Immortal being built. Robo Bay is done. More Phoenix. A Sentry is there. Only 48 workers for Hero. His economy is not great right now. So if you go for this base and this base, they've both only got 6 minerals. 48 workers doesn't seem like that many, but you still get a lot more minerals off all the gold. What do we actually have to fight on the ground, though? 2 Immortals, a few Stalkers, a Sentry. Stim Bio is so scary against this. I just don't know if you want to push with this army, because Q's force is so small. He's not really rallying to it either. I think he just wants to like deny the gold minerals, but not go any closer. You do not want to fight anywhere near battery overcharge. But he's getting some shots from the high ground, which is really effective. Oh, some really good shots from the high ground. Battery overcharge does come in. I mean, Hero can defend the Nexus. I just don't think he can keep the mining up the whole time. First Colossus comes out. Marines are in the front. Marines are in the front. We need those Marauders in the front line. Marines behind it. Oh, you got to be careful about moving through that choke point as the Phoenix go over, and they do clean up a bunch of Widowmines rallying. Oh, 2 Phoenix go down. Siege tank on the front does get blasted finally. And he's going to pick up and go for a crazy drop his Cure. Okay, Cure just threw caution to the wind, right? Oh, but Hero didn't see him change direction. Okay, he made it look like he was diving the natural. So this forces Hero back. Hero goes double Forge Twilight Council. He should be going for a 4th base now as well. He does not have enough mineral patches, and these mineral patches run out so fast as well. So he's going to need that gold base. Otherwise, I think Q is going to tie this up just because his macro is better. Even though he's only been on 2 base, which sucks. Once his 3rd's out, it's going to be instantly fully saturated. He's got Ghosts on the way, Vikings, 1-1. Extended Thermal Lance is finally starting, but there's only 2 Colossus. 3rd one just now starting. That being said, Colossus are a big problem for the army of Cure. I just think his numbers are better. I look at the numbers, actually, not really. Okay, correction. I think it's perfectly even in many scenarios. It's just, if you can hit before 1-1 as Cure with your own 1-1, you've got a few Vikings, a few EMPs available. I think there's like a very vicious 3-base timing. And Hero doesn't have the benefit of a 4th. He's going to drop that 4th now, but it's so late, there's no way this kicks in before the 3-base timing of Cure. Now, Cure does have 6 gas. But no, it's actually, yeah, he's got 6 gases. It's a lot of gas. Usually that tells you want to go 2-2 upgrades. Whereas it feels like, oh, look at that. He does a hallucinated probe to suck up the Widowmine hits. And he ends up just tanking one on an Immortal there, realizing it's got the barrier. It can take that Widowmine shot to the face. I love the hallucinated probes. It's the only way you can get 4 units from one hallucination. Phoenix coming forward as well. Big push. Oh, that Widowmine! The Phoenix dragged it over the army, and it just did silly damage, man. That was a ridiculous Widowmine hit because the Phoenix dragged it into the middle of the units, and a wise pullback for Hero. Now, Hero is still only on 56 workers. Kua, though, no sign of going extra upgrades right now. He's just building Vikings, 7 medevacs, 4 Vikings. His 3 Ghosts are out. He's building a few more. +1 armor's finishing. No 4th command center building. No 2nd engineering bay. No armory. This really feels like a big all-in for Kua. As I say that, 2nd engineering bay armory goes down. Where's the 4th command center, though? Gold base is mining out, man. He's not got that many mineral patches. I think a 4th base is so important on these maps where your gold minerals are mining out. Notice, look, Hero's already transferring off that base. He's going to have to transfer off this base in a few minutes. Both sides with big armies right now. No idea who's winning this game. It's a very close one. It comes down to how the fight goes. Templar Archives coming in. More gateways coming in. 1-1 upgrades and charge. Here. He's going to go for it. Hero confident in his upgrades now. He says 1-1 versus 1-1. Let's take the fight. The Vikings getting shot down by the Phoenix. The Stalkers and the Sentries there as well. The Bio pulling back. The Vikings starting to clear those Phoenix little by little. The Marines did control click to the back, but the stim runs out. We've got to pull away from those Colossus. Clear the Zealots before the fight happens. It feels like Hero's army still has all the power units left, but all of his Zealots are gone. Q is going to spread and go for the big fight, but the Marines are just getting roasted and toasted by the Colossus. This is a very good fight for Hero because all of his power units survive. Q loses his entire army, and Q has to tap out. Hero doesn't probe up, goes for a super late 4th. For some reason, he builds 2 shield batteries at the 4th. I don't know why you would build shield batteries here. This is like you've already lost the game if the fighting's there, haven't you? I don't know. But despite that, staying on a big army was the right call. He just had a good army. He was really active with the Phoenix. He kind of shut down the aggression from getting too much damage earlier, just denied a bit of mining on his gold, and then he went back to it. And that was a really nice 2-0 for Hero. All right, guys. We've got Team Liquid Skillous coming out here. Gonna have to start that comeback up against a very scary Zerg. This is, of course, soO. And we haven't scouted yet as Skillous. soO for WEIBO Gaming. That's the player I forgot. It's soO was their newest sign-up. Backing up Oliveira, who's going to come out in the 3rd match, which means Oliveira versus Clem. Ooh, we're going to have a TVT for the 3rd match, guys. That's awesome. Because Oliveira is incredibly scary in that match. Back when Oliveira won his world championship, Clem was schooling him in the group stage. Oliveira made one of the most epic comebacks of all time against him. And if it wasn't for that comeback, he would not have made it out of the group stage, and he would not have won that world championship. So there's that bit of history from a few years ago, and that's something that'll be interesting, as well as just the fact that Oliveira is insanely good right now, and I'm curious to see how him and Clem match up in TVT. But to even get there and have the team survive, remember, map score matters, so we always play the 2 maps between each players, no matter what. 2 maps between Hero and Cure, 2 between soO and Skillous, and then 2 between Clem and Oliveira. If it's 3-3, we will get an ace match. So, yeah, every map does matter, but it's going to be interesting to see where this goes. Now, recently, soO, I believe, was eliminated by Harstem from Dallas. And I think Harstem just played very long, slow games. I have criticized soO for having no late game to speak of, and I've also criticized his Protoss opponents because usually, without fail, they do mid-game timing attacks against him, which is a surefire way to lose to soO. There has been something wrong with Korean Protoss's problem-solving abilities when it comes to playing soO for a decade at this point, where the guy who they know isn't going to build spellcasters or hive tech for the entire game usually, and just mass roach Hydra or something like that, or Hydraling Bane, and they'll go and be like, I got to kill you with like a 3-base timing attack right now. And you're like, but this is when soO's strongest. Why would you attack at his strong point? You know, like this has been a common thing. Think about when which Protoss player? Stats should have won IEM Katowice. The soO victory that he got, and I don't mean to take anything away because it was a very emotional moment and a beautiful victory for soO, but I am very critical of his ZVP because it is just good mid-game timing attacks and then it falls off a cliff face after that. Stats was a master of late game, and instead he hit fast timing attacks every game and just got absolutely rolled by like 60 drone roach Hydra. And it was a bizarre choice of strategies for Stats in that Katowice Grand Finals back in, I think, 2019. And it was kind of unfortunate for Stats. But it was awesome for soO. It's something where Harstem kind of revealed soO's weakness, I think, in Dallas, just playing turtly and slow and methodical and just saying, yeah, I'm not going to overcommit. I know you want me to step on creep so you can surround my army and kill it. I'm not going to give you that opportunity. Let's see if Skillous has learnt from those Harstem games at all. Depths do come in. Gets a couple drone snipes. Ooh, Oracle coming in. 3 queens, though. Get out, Skillous, get out. Oracle doesn't take too much damage. 3 drones is good. The Adept's still alive. There's not enough Zerglings here for soO. He's been a little greedy. Be a bit crazy to commit to that Shade. And that is indeed a nice cancel. Second Oracle comes out. Third Nexus is on the way. And of course, there is an Overlord over here. Hasn't spotted the Nexus just yet, but you can infer that's what your opponent's going for when you see multiple Oracles arriving. 3 queens moving down. soO does have an Overlord down the bottom, but he doesn't see the Oracle just yet. Oh, it's out of vision. The double Oracle. They could snoop in behind this third mineral line and get some work as the queens are out of position just slightly. Not perfectly placed on those queens. Oh, Skillous with a bit of mismicro. Gets 2 drones, pulls away. It's because the Zerglings were distracting him. Oracles going into the main, and he's going to go for, yeah, grabs a rallying drone, not too bad. 3 workers, not the smoothest micro on the Oracles, but of course, when you're dealing with Zerglings being a nuisance, that's okay. He still only lost 1 Adept, didn't lose any probes to this Ling pressure. No pylon at the third is kind of bizarre, though. I gotta say, that's a little odd, and Skillous does find himself supply blocked here. More Adepts shading in. Dude, he's actually getting crazy damage right now. Where is soO's Zerglings? On the other side of the map was a big mistake. That's why Skillous was so weird on the defense. It's because he was sneaking 2 Adepts across the map. He was ignoring the pressure and just sneaking across. Oracle's gonna grab 2 drones. He's just sacrificing it at this point, right? No? Gets out. Dude, his Oracles are still alive. Another one coming in. Skillous. Oh my lord. Okay, soO's defense is all over the shop at this point. He never built a Spore in the third, and he only built 6 queens. This is very greedy. You will often see Dark and the best Zergs. Oh, he's going to lose it. No, barely gets out. You'll often see the best Zergs build 7 queens and 3 spores. Only 6 and 2 spores. A little greedy, especially since he sent the Lings across the map, and that's really what opened him up to that pressure. There is still also an Adept on the Watchtower in that perfect positioning. We've learned that this positioning over here, it is almost impossible to get vision on that unit. You basically need to run melee units in here to see it. You can't see it on the tower because it's close enough to claim the tower. It's just a very annoying position to deal with. Overlord speed's on the way. We are going to be seeing the... Oh, German Taxi. German Taxi's coming in, guys. We're going to see a Queen drop. Ravager Ling all in. Big all in coming off 60 drones for soO. I mean, probably wants to go heavy on the Roaches as well. He does start Roach speed. Oracles and the Adepts getting good damage. The Oracles are all somehow still alive. 5 more workers go down. 3 Oracles. Oh my lord. Dude, this guy has 1 arm. This guy has no eyes. Both eye. He's got 2 eye patches. This guy doesn't have legs. This guy's basically the stump dude from Monty Python and the Holy Grail. He's hopping around on 1 leg, blood spurting out of his stumps, just going, tis but a flesh wound, you know? Those Oracles have seen some stuff. They are veterans, and they should be on full defense duty for now. They should not be doing any more run-bys. It's Lieutenant Dan. Yeah, I guess so. They've seen some fierce fighting, is what we're getting at here. Oracle could turn his laser on. Oh, he saves the Stalker. Skillous. Dude, Skillous just has complete control over this game. soO's going to go for it. Skillous sees it immediately. Dude, if he could snipe the Overlord, that would be massive. If he can get rid of one of these Overlords filled with queens. Roaches are here. Roach speed, not quite done just yet. He's got batteries building, cannons building, more pylons building. Skillous is slowing this push down with the Stalkers as well. He's making it hard for him to push through the middle. Look at this. He's coming forward, picking off a few Roaches. Skillous getting some really good engagements right here. Just slowing it down, just chilling it out. Probes are fighting against those Zerglings in the base as well. And this soO had a really bad start. He's got a massive supply now, though. Roach speed is done. Skillous is trying to defend with just 6 gateways. He's got a 4th Nexus on the way. Is this too greedy? He really doesn't have much unit production. On the other hand, he's doing great. Those queens need to hurry up and join the front. Otherwise, the Oracles will be a problem. He's going to drop creep and try and transfuse, I guess. He's doing it really far back, though. The Roach Ravager Ling still all in for soO. 142 supply against 129. That bodes well for the Protoss players. Now building Immortals. He's gone back to probing. Show some respect, Skillous. Go to 8 gates before you start probing, please. Skillous playing so greedy right now. This is the problem. Remember, Skillous is a European, guys. Europeans have one thing on their mind, and it's disgusting. It's building workers while they're being all in. They just can't resist. The same way Hero can't resist a gold base, European pro gamers can't resist building workers while their opponent is clearly completely all in right now. I mean, I think because the attack just doesn't have that much oomph behind it. Skillous was trying to be a bit more greedy, but now he's built 2 more gateways, 4 more batteries. He's pumping Immortals. And dude, his blink micros, he even lost a Stalker. Let's look. He's lost 1 Stalker for 20 Roaches and 60 Zerglings, guys. Jamie, can you crunch the numbers on this efficiency right here? I'm not going to say it's good for Skillous, because I don't think that's a strong enough word. Let me explain this from the Zerg perspective. Zerg looks at this and goes, we're talking about projectile vomited disgust flowing out of their mouth. It is like, oh my lord. soO just cannot find anything. The Stalkers blink on his face. soO is so very dead. Skillous. Great early game harassment. Got himself a lead. And then quite technical with the defense as well. These 3 Oracles just have way too much damage. The Adept harass was too good. And I think, shout out to Skillous. I want to go back and find when those Lings arrived on his side of the map, because I feel like sneaking those Adepts across was super high IQ. A lot of people pull defensive, especially against an aggressive guy like soO. But we sent our Adepts forward. You see, these Lings were here, and he's like, dude, I'm still going to pressure. I don't care. I'm just going to... He gets the Stalker, the wall warps into him. He's like, I don't care. I'm just going across the map. And soO didn't chase them. soO didn't build more... He builds 10 more Lings, but they're not ready in time. And these Adepts walk into the base and are like, hello. Have you heard about our Lord and Savior, the Adept? We have what we call as a gosh darn glaive cannon, and we're going to shoot it into the face of your drones and ruin your day. So then he cleans up all these Zergs, and this is just enough of a distraction, pulling enough Queens out of position. The Oracles start finding damage, and it's sloppy. It's like sloppy on both sides here. The game is chaotic. Things are happening at fast pace. The Oracles just keep getting in and out and in and out over and over again, and Skillous just does way too many drone kills. 13 drones already by 5 minutes 20. That's a lot of damage, and it keeps going from there. GG, well played. Skillous takes the map. All right. Skillous with a lovely game 1, but I doubt soO's going to let him get that sort of momentum again. Nexus goes up quickly on the natural. Is this no scout 2 games in a row? Oh, 0 respect for the 12 pool. And fair enough. I mean, 12 pool is pretty rare these days. soO did indeed go hatch gas pool. That's fair enough. Look at this. I like that drone transfer. 5 drones to instantly saturate the gold. Nice. Very nice. Return cargo on those 2. Could stack this guy on that patch or that patch. You can see it's kind of hard to stack them, but soO's not going to bother microing it. Fair enough. I always think of soO as the guy who does like perfect basics in terms of injects and stuff, but he isn't really paying attention to like doubling these workers on this patch up or doubling those workers on the gold. So it is what it is. It's not perfect, but he's going to be perfect on his injects and his overlords. soO never gets supply blocked. I say that. I'm probably going to curse him by saying that. I think the supply block that he already encountered here actually was pretty bad. Yeah, I think he built his overlord on like 23, 22 rather than 21 when you're meant to build it. It did slow down a few drones. Fair enough, slight inefficiency in the build order. It is what it is. Link speed's on the way as well. Stargate coming in for Skillous. Very standard. Not a bad way to play, though, as that gold base does start getting saturated for Skillous as well. Skillous didn't transfer off, so he went for the more fluid constant income, while soO went for the I want that boost as quickly as possible version. All right, Adepts here, dancing around, damaging 2 Zerglings. Good pullbacks by soO. Where's the Queen on the natural? Should be rotating to do damage to this. A little slow on pulling that Queen. And he didn't inject either in the meantime, so just a little slow on the response. Could have killed that Adept or at least done a bit more damage. We should be injecting instantly. Inject. Yeah, you can see. Dude, I tell you, man. I feel like soO got, like, beaten as a child for missing an inject for 3 seconds. And, like, it's just so imprinted in his brain. Like, there are players out there like Dark where sometimes they'll go 36 seconds without injecting and there's nothing else happening. You're like, oh my gosh, this is bad. soO, he's like, it's been 1.7 seconds while my Queen was shooting an Oracle. I must go back and inject. He's so focused on that. We should see 2 more Overlords queue up in response to this dying, guys. His 3rd hatchery does give him a little bit of bonus supply, but he's a bit slow on starting those 2 Overlords. So remember, whenever you're losing an Overlord, you always want to build a few extra, just as a small little adjustment to minimize the damage. Now, that's a really quick Twilight. So it looks like a Glaive Adept build. And he's got a quick... Wait, how is his 3rd this? Guys, his 3rd is down at 340. He did delay... I guess his Oracles ever so slightly, but already this is going to be a crisp 4-gate Glaives. I think about 5 minutes 40. He's going to be hitting with a lot. Wait. Why is soO on a Roach Warren already? And a Lair? What is soO's build order? Guys, normally you want to delay your Lair against Stargate as long as possible. Why? because it doesn't help you against Oracles and Adepts at all. You also want to delay your Roach Warren. 430 is an early Roach Warren, but he seems to realize something's up. So maybe he got the read on Skillous' build and knows that Adepts are coming really early, but it's not Adepts, it's actually a fast blink. Ooh, okay. So I think Skillous is basically just going for a very aggressive 4-gate blink. I think he's thinking soO will probably take a fast gold, and that can deny it. It also keeps him very safe against any sort of queen walk strategies. Not a bad way to do it. Yeah, I wasn't actually looking at soO earlier. The supply block thing was pretty funny. Me mentioning he never gets supply blocked as he's supply blocked for the first game I've seen in a while. I'm like, damn it. He's now supply blocked again really badly, guys. It's like, please, Overlords now. He doesn't realize because he's technically not quite supply blocked, so he hasn't got the warning. soO a little tilted from game one, I think. I think game one has really hurt him. Even though his work account's great right now, he seems to be a little tilted. He's trying to go straight Hydras now. So the Roach Warren was just a safety Roach Warren. Interesting. What a bizarre game. Skillous wants to take a quick gold as well to match the gold while doing this pressure. Blink's already almost finished. If he can get like 10 Stalkers over here, I think he can deny the gold. If he can deny the gold, get his own gold up, that's going to be massive. Adept can get taken out. Oh, that is not a solid wall off, but Oracle lasers say, get out of here, boy. Just one of them turning on to conserve energy. Great play there. Skillous is already up on, 5, 6 gateways. Fourth Nexus starts at 6 minutes. It's a good timing. Adept is coming up on that base. Shield battery has to get cancelled. Probe will go down. Oh, he mineral walks. It builds a new one. And probes plus the battery. Easy defense there. You ain't going to do diddly squat, mate. Gold base is going down. Probes will defend that. You can see he just goes A move there and then shift click back to mining. And the gold base does fall. Hydras are coming out now, as are roaches, but there's no roach speed. So, interesting setup for soO. Looks like he just wants to do a 3-base roach Hydra timing now. We'll see, because there's no drone moving out to reclaim a 4th base. To be fair, that's fine for now. Here we go. Gold base does get rebuilt. Oracles, careful, mate. One Oracle will die. Nice tag, though. Does see where the army is. He could blink on that gold and kill it right now. It's just Skillous doesn't realize it's there. Zerglings running into the base. They do get caught on the way out. +1 weapons about a third of the way complete for Skillous. It's a very late upgrade as he starts Glaives. What? Guys, what's he doing? There are, even if there weren't roaches in the mix, Glaives is crazy. I think he meant to make charge. Oh no, Skillous made the wrong hotkey, guys. I have recently seen some players add Adepts later on in the game in various matchups, and I have very mixed thoughts on it. This one, I don't think there's any reason. Not when you see Roach Hydra. You 100% are planning to go Zealots after the Stalkers, but not able to get all that much done. Only 2 Stalkers have gone down, though. He has managed to keeping soO pinned on 65 workers. Immortals are on the way. 4 base against 3 base is so good for Protoss, man. You've got the gold income going. If you're ahead on mineral income and you're making Blink Stalkers, which, you know, should be the better unit the longer this game goes, this could go very well for you. He's got to be careful on his blink backs. Does have a battery, 2 batteries and a cannon there. I think defending this base, you just got to be careful. Oracle Revelation is really important to give vision. And he's going to try and make sure he sets up some nice concaves. Yeah, it's kind of awkward here because it's like if soO goes south, he's kind of got a nice position behind the mineral line and you're going to be choked up. You don't have a lot of surface area. Battery overcharge could come down. Battery overcharge is ready. Stalkers using good battery overcharge, but the Hydra firing arc is just so much more powerful than the Stalkers right now. They're all stuck behind each other. Really bad angling for Skillous. This fight starts bad for Skillous. But if soO overextends, it could go good. Skillous just needs to like set up a concave back here. He can't go up that ramp. If he goes up the ramp, things are really bad. Hydras are now the ones pushing into the concave. You can see, yeah, you want to keep pulling back. Whoever pushes too far forward into the choke point is going to have the worst angle. It's still an all-in for soO. He's transferred to the gold base, but he's not building anything else. No +2. Nothing but Roach Ravager Hydraling here. Mixing in a few corrosive biles to get a bit of damage. That cannon on the right side does get a bit of damage on the roaches as well. The longer this goes, the worse it is for soO. There is a Disruptor about to pop out. There's already 2 Immortals that are going to absolutely ridiculously destroy against these. Where's the Robo, guys? Robo's out front. Robo is out here at the 3rd base. That Disruptor could be game-ending because there's just no follow-up. soO's making Zerglings right now. He's so all in. Does land a few good biles, though. That Disruptor needs to just hold on to its shot because all you need to do is survive as Skillous, I think. He goes for it. Oh, my lord. Gets a bunch of Hydras, forces a bunch of the units back as well, but it's trapped up front, which means the revenge kill. No. New battery overcharge comes in as well. Stalkers on that left side need to keep blinking back, I think. Units on the right defending as best they can. The cannon did get depowered. Beautiful arc for Skillous, but he's still down 30 army supply. The Link's coming in. There's no real counter to it. Disruptor shot comes off cooldown. It does fire, and it finds absolutely diddly squat there as soO backs off. But soO is refusing to drone. He's not making a spire. No infestation pit. No 5th base. Even though he's up 10 workers, he could transition right now. He's got his own gold. He absolutely could. But look at that. Zealot counterattack comes in. He's like, my charge finished, didn't it? Little does he realize, guys, those are slow zealots. I don't think Skillous is even watching. I think he's just trying to send charge zealot counterattacks, not realizing he made glaives. Wait, he canceled glaives, so maybe he did realize. Oh, nice disruptor shot. Gets 3 hydras. Another one goes out as well. 2 ravages, 2 hydras. Oh, man, this is bad for soO. The longer this goes, the more disruptor shots go off, the bigger problem it is. He should be able to get one of them unless the covering shot comes out. It gets 4 more hydras and a roach. Oh, these disruptors are bad news for the Zerg. soO, seeing those disruptors, needs to transition. His answer? Build more Zerglings. Take a 5th. He's going to take a 5th on this right side. He's moving a drone out there. Where's that transit? He just doesn't feel confident going to the longer game. He feels like if I have more army, I can surround this. But if I don't have more army, he kills my gold and I lose. So I have to keep building army. The problem is you're building an army that does not beat Skillous's army. Charge is finally starting along with +2 attack. +2 will be there sooner for soO. Loses a bit of mining on that gold base. Army in the south. Oh, slow zealots, so bad, man. Slow zealots, not very good units. Hydra's trying to chase those down. I mean, this could be a bit of a trap here for Skillous. If he goes on to creep there, he could get surrounded. Disruptor shot finds itself a Hydralisk. Bit of a flank comes in from the north. Lovely, lovely, lovely disruptor shot. A few of those disruptors do get picked off, though. 2 disruptors going down. The Immortal up front also very weak right now. It goes down. Uh-oh. Big pickoffs there for soO. Just the massive amount of Hydras giving him some opportunities. He starts a melee upgrade and a Baneling nest. Awful transition, guys. Going Banelings this late off a similar economy is a terrible move. You need asymmetry right now. You need asymmetry. You need Vipers or, Lurkers. You need something that can scale well. Banelings can never scale well versus Protoss. Banelings are a way to leverage an economy advantage, supercharge your maxed out army, and wipe Protoss out before they hit the big splash damage late game army. We've got triple Robo, Archons, 5th base, all on the way for Skillous. This is not the time to be adding a handful of Banelings here. Zealots coming in right now. Hydra Roach doing what they can. Oh, man. Zealots in the back door. Zealots in the front door. Zealots in the right-hand side door. Talking about hitting every single base at once. Skillous getting up in amongst it with some viciously aggressive play. But he does leave his Disruptor hanging out. It does get focused down. I love the Zealot multi-prong. Doesn't really kill that many drones, though. Loses his Disruptor. Loses his Immortal. Oh, gosh. Oh, no. Did he just throw away a bunch of units for not that much gain? Because the thing is, soO's already all in. Losing 7 drones, does he care? Does he actually care? I don't even know. Like, it's almost like as long as the Protoss army loses its important, valuable units, it's good. This is the problem. This here is the Eye of Sauron as far as soO is concerned. It is just a deadly, evil, dark place. They are growing the Uruk-hai of Uruk-hai. This is where they get Uruk-hai riding those silly elephant-looking things. What do they call them? Elephants or something? Still the worst fantasy name for an elephant ever. Just say it the proper way, you dum-dums. Anyways, I don't think soO has Legolas Hydras that can literally, like, CGI their way on top of those disruptors and one-shot them in the back of the head. If he has Legolas Hydras, maybe. Oh, he does not have Legolas Hydras. Those are not Legolas Hydras at all. Those are Boromir Hydralisks. Slow Baneling flank. Oh, soO, this is a disaster. To be fair, there's not much Protoss there, but chasing with Roach Hydra slow Baneling. soO has built the NA comp. You guys have heard me talk about the NA comp so many times. Roach Hydra Baneling is one of the most garbage unit compositions in all of StarCraft. You end up with it when you're not in a good spot. You do not end up with this as your plan from the start was like, oh, I'm making Roach Hydra. No, the Roach Hydra blocks the Banelings. Even with Baneling speed finished, it's awkward as hell using this army. Zealots in the top side as well. Ling Bane do intercept that one. But man, the Banelings are just never going to be cost efficient unless Skillous clumps like crazy. Good blink back. The Archons soaking these hits. I love the movement for Skillous. It's been so active. soO's trying to come in from every side, but the post-youth choke points are so good for PvZ. I remember talking about how this map's great for PvZ. MaxPax, I convinced to play it. He immediately beat every Zerg he played in every tournament on this map after I told him to unban it. He then also beat a lot of Terrans on it. He then started losing to Terran repeatedly, and he went back to banning the map. But I don't think he vetoes it against Zerg anymore because it's just the choke points are awkward against the splash damage. You can see soO's trying to flank and surround. He can't get the surface area. He can't get the angle, man. He just can't. Another Hydra shot goes down. Nicely done. Zealots on the right side as well. Army on the left. Units lost tab. 7,000 resource loss advantage. soO's been hanging out on 62 drones for a long time. I honestly feel like this guy... Today, it looks like soO has a shrine to Tefl in his house. Do you guys remember Tefl, guys? Dignitas Tefl, the Polish beast. That man, every game, 60 drone, Roach Hydra, no transition. That's exactly what soO's doing here as well. soO throw, says chat. I don't know when he was ahead in this game to throw this game. Don't get me wrong, he had an army advantage a few points. He could have transitioned while pressuring the gold. He definitely could have transitioned earlier. I don't think he was ahead, though. I think you need to be ahead to throw a game. Otherwise, it's just not playing that good. You can say soO not play that good. I don't think you can say he's throwing at all. 17 probes do go down. Zealots coming on the right side. We've got more Zealots on the left as well. Oh, these +1 melee lings. Not that good against the Zealots with +2. Archon Stalker. Colossus. Oh, he's got 2 Colossus in the mix. The Disruptor shot still getting damage here, there, and everywhere. Zealots are going to fight in the choke point. Oh, look at that. Skillous clicked them back to the perfect position. So they're fighting shoulder to shoulder, guarding each other. They take out way more Zerglings than they otherwise would. soO, 58 drones, building Roaches right now. Roach, Baneling, Hydra. It's such an awkward spot. He wants Roaches to tank against the Colossus Archon. He wants Banelings to kill things. He just doesn't have enough money. And like I said, if he got to Lurkers and Vipers, maybe. If he got to some other unit that creates some asymmetry, but Banelings were not it, man. Banelings are a suicide unit, and against a dude who's already got splash damage, that was a bit of cope, I think. The Disruptor shots, as he tries to chase down this army, doing so well. And I mean, soO kept Skillous' supply surprisingly low. This reminds me a lot of my ladder games, where I feel like the Zerg is just throwing the kitchen sink at me, and I'm like, man, he doesn't have much economy. How is he still alive? Like, how's this going? Haven't I been more efficient? And then you finally, like, just barely, like, finish them off. And then you look at the units lost tab and you're like 10, 15,000 resources more efficient. And you're like, oh, okay, I was winning the whole time. But because you're investing in more upgrades, more infrastructure, more production, and the Zerg isn't. The Zerg is just make Roach Hydra or die trying. It can feel like they have a surprising amount of army, but it's because there's no upgrades coming in. It's +1 melee, +2 range. There's no hive. There's no investment in anything else. And they are just falling further and further behind into a deep, desperate pit where they cannot come back. Skillous getting a 2-0 over soO. That is massive. That ties up the series for Team Liquid. All right, guys. Going into the potentially final match of today. Team Liquid's champion, Clem, comes out. Oliveira's coming out, of course, for WEIBO. Is he their champion? I don't know. I feel like Hero is probably the guy who's been a bit more consistent than Oliveira. Oliveira's been pretty darn good, though, as well. But unfortunate that soO was not able to take a map off Skillous. He looked so good in that series, and now we've got a 2 barracks opening for Clem. So he's going to go double Reaper pressure, which I guess you can run up this ramp, but that can be walled off. And then you've got Reaper ledge here, Reaper ledge there, which is not the greatest. I mean, they're still pretty close together. There's no Reaper ledge over here. You can see there's this gap. There's like a little hole there, so you can't jump up anywhere else. I don't know if it makes sense to go 2x Reaper on this map. On the other hand, is there just an argument that, like, you can still just jump in, kill their 1 Reaper maybe, kill the SCV, and then you're just doing a slightly delayed command center, and then you go, obviously, double barracks. So you've got, like, Stim coming in, and Reactor Marines a bit earlier. There's a bunch of stuff that could happen. He's just looking for proxies. Neither side is SCV scouted right now. Oliveira is doing the exact same thing on his side of the map. His factory is down. There's, of course, a 1-max expand, though. This is one of the greedier builds for Oliveira. He's building Marines right now. He could die very quickly, right? Because if these Reapers jump in, or if they catch this Reaper on its own, or they kill a Marine or 2 on its own, it just spirals. It spirals really hard. So Clem's going to go with his first 2 Reapers, 3rd Reaper's on the way. He's already building Marines behind this. So he's not going, like, all out on that. And he will start his own factory probably in the near future. There we go. Factory goes down. Reapers jump up. Oh, could he at least kill the... He has to kill the Reaper. Yeah, he gets a Reaper for a Reaper, which is it's like an okay trade. Nothing crazy. Oliveira. Ooh, he accidentally rallied a Marine to the outside. Very risky. Now he's got to pull back and wait for the Hellion. That SCV needs to run. Uh-oh. Hellion's out, though. Hellion's out. If you go deep as Clem, you lose this. Oh, he's going to lose it. He's going to lose it. Oh, he gets hit by his own grenade. The Reaper goes down there. And that double barracks opening does basically exactly what I was criticizing it for on this map, which is nothing. It trades badly. You delayed your command center against a guy who's already gone 1 racks expand. I don't know, man. This feels like a really good start for Oliveira. This feels like a fantastic start for Oliveira, in fact. The grenade does 5 damage, guys. 5 damage, as well as, of course, the movement. You can't shoot while you're getting bounced. It's the main thing. Is the game live? Yeah, nice. Nope. This is off a replay. The best games of StarCraft. We know they're the best. They're never live. That's how we know they're the best. I'm not clairvoyant, but welcome to this channel. Thanks to everyone, all the regulars, for letting people know what's going on when it is, you know, best games of StarCraft Day. Casting all World Team League highlight matches today because there's been so many good ones over the last week. And these games normally are live from about midnight my time to like 5 a.m. my time, something like that. Maybe 11 p.m. to like 3 a.m. Sometime when I am not going to be awake, and neither is my audience. So I like to just grab the best matches and cast those off replays on these best games of StarCraft days. And it's always fun. I like this. He scouts, but it's an empty medevac. So in Clem's mind, that has 2 Cyclones in it. Or a Cyclone and a bunch of Marines. But Oliveira is purely scouting here, and he's actually just building tanks and Vikings behind. I love this. Because in Clem's mind, it's like, oh yeah, cool. Like, you have Cyclones. You're not expecting tanks this early. Why would you have tanks and Vikings this early? Well, guess what? Second starport's on the way as well. It's the build order that Maru is obsessed with. Everyone in the Asian scene spams this build order, and it is a hard counter to Marines without combat shields because tanks wreck them. You don't even have anything on the ground. 14 Marines with Stim, 2 medevacs. How do you get on top of these tanks? This might just be a free win. I think Oliveira's build is perfect here. I mean, Clem needs to find a way to get his Marines around and go interrupt the reinforcements. But this is half of his production. 2/3 of his production, even, one could say, because losing the reacted barracks builds 2 Marines at a time. Medevacs are out. Yeah, you can see that. He's like, I can't defend this. I need to get outside my base. Maybe if he surrounds the tank, he could do it. If he gets this other tank. Oh, this could be big. This could be big. This. Oh, he's going to get it. He's going to get the tank. That's a massive move. Okay, he does get the tank, but he's got to be careful. He's almost in enemy tank range. That army comes back. He scans, pulls back. Ooh, Oliveira didn't have the scan, so he didn't get the shot off. If combat shields finishes, that's a massive power spike. Until that finishes, if you stim your Marines, they get 1 shot by the siege tank. Oh, he's going for it. He's going for it, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, and he does take out the tank with the Marines from the high ground. The other Marine Cyclone does pretty well. Dude, I thought the second tank was going to be there way sooner. I thought there was no way to deal with the tanks, but the reinforcement was very slow for Oliveira. Losing the second tank, not getting it sieged up, and maybe not committing as much as he should have. For a guy playing double starport factory, like Viking tank style, I almost feel like you should be way more in your opponent's face. I'll have to analyze the replay at the end of this game to really check that out because I'm curious. I think Oliveira missed an opportunity to win this game. I do think it's a build order counter. 4 Viking run by, not a bad move. He's got tanks for turtling as well. 1 tank coming forward for Clem could be annoying. But actually breaking Ollie here is going to be very hard. And Oliveira is still building multiple libs. This is crazy, guys. Liberator on the left, 4 Vikings in the main. Quick reaction by Clem. But look at that, he pulls this Viking away just as the lib comes in. Okay, Viking does turn around. He's going to lose a bunch of these SCVs. 1 Marine goes down, 2 to 3 SCVs, not the end of the world. Other side of the map, Liberator does get pushed back, but there's only Cyclones and Marines to deal with this. So the Liberator will push back that siege tank. Oh, nice shot there. Clem has to back away. Clem does take out, Oliveira takes out his reactor. 5 SCVs in total for a Liberator. Massive amounts of mining time going down. And remember that Oliveira is making a transition into a normal game behind this. This is not an all-in 2 starport play. It's, I'm going to keep pressuring you with Viking, Lib, Tank, have the air dominance, have the tech unit advantage. I'll still go double engineering bay. I'll still go for the 3 barracks afterwards, or 5 barracks even. He's got +1 armor starting as well. Oliveira, great attention to detail so far. Clem's still got a bit of a soft contain, but a Newt Liberator's going to come in that right side, so he's rotating. A Viking's going to go around the left, try to land in the main or the 3rd base, and the Liberator will go down the right and siege up that natural. This is really good moves for Oliveira, but Clem, equal workers, hasn't really fallen behind at all. He's doing really nice. A couple of SCVs go down. 1 Marine gets focused. A few more Marines going to get focused as well. Those Vikings could lift up and get out. There's only 1 Marine that can shoot them when they're flying. That Liberator's going to come in as well, and you're distracted as Clem right now. These Vikings might go into the main as well. Yes, they are. Liberator on the natural. And dude, this has got to be so annoying. This has got to be so annoying. The Vikings will get pushed back. Nice movement there by Clem. Does defend that side, but he's lost so much mining on the natural this game. Luckily for him, his third is up. But Oliveira floats his own third out. He's thinking about moving this lib forward. He's got to move tanks out. I think opening these mineral patches up makes a lot of sense for Oliveira right now, as he's very oversaturated and he needs to get out of his base. So if he can just siege the lib on the right side on those tanks, I think that's going to allow him to break down. There we go. The SCVs are mining open those blue minerals. Good first volley on the tanks. And picks up those tanks as well, completely dodging those Liberator shots. Really nicely played. Third command center's up. Worker count very similar. Stim is done now for Oliveira. But you can see he's down 7 Marines. And his 1-1 is... Well, actually, +1's done for Clem. Clem's +1 armor was forgotten this game. Very mirrored matchup right now. So evenly matched between the two. Two of the best Terrans. Easily the best non-Korean Terrans in the world. Oliveira from China. Clem from France. Marine sees the army rotating to the right side. That's going to pull his attention there, but that means the double drop in the main is going to be vicious. There is a missile turret in position. That's going to damage this, but it's not going to stop it, you know? And look at that. He boosts in. Army's way out of position. Vikings and Marines are going to stim on top of it. SCVs could be pulled on top. There's only one tank. Oh, this might be a shutdown, actually. Oh, he just cleans through that so easily. Clem's going to try and take advantage on the right side, though. Trying to get up the ramp. Not able to do so. Clem YOLO's in, does not find a panicked Oliveira. He finds a calm Oliveira, deals with it with poise. Oliveira starts 2-2. Meanwhile, only now is the second engineering bay and the armory going down. This was all off on eBay. Oh, all that harassment that Oliveira did earlier, the Liberators and the Vikings is really stacked up now. Second factory does go down on the tech lab for Clem now that he's got combat shields. Here we go, big fight in the middle. Oliveira goes for a bit of a messy fight, I would say. He catches the Marines out. And it's good. It's really good for Oliveira. Oh, those last tank shots do clear him. But I think trading Marines out is fine because you've killed 4 tanks. You've only lost 2 this game. You're now at 7 tanks against 3. If you can maintain that Viking advantage with a double starport, you're going to be great. And oh my lord, again, the Liberator harass just won't stop. Guys, remember, what was Oliveira's secret unit that won him the World Championship? It was the Liberator. He sieged Maru with Liberators. He sieged Rainer with Liberators. This unit, I have always complained about this being easier to use than the response it demands and relatively cheap for its cost. They made it 25 gas cheaper about a year and a half ago, and no one talked about it, and no one mentioned it. And I was like, this is a real noob killer. I never expected it to be a friggin' world champion unit, but he uses it so much. Oliveira getting such value out of his libs. Both players dropping each other at the same time, guys. Oh, don't lose 2-2. He's going to lose 2-2, isn't he? I mean, you're losing mining and barracks here, but losing 2-2 is even bigger. If that engineering bay, here we go, Stim's up to deal with it, but oh, this time he's attacking to choke points without enough units to necessarily deal with it. He's got enough. Has enough to deal with it. The tank goes down, the 2-2 gets protected, and it looks like he loses his units as well. That last tank shot choosing to shoot the single Marine rather than the 14 Marines together. If you need any evidence that siege tank pilots are silly, there you go. Missile turret did kill that Liberator. That's equal worker kills on both sides, but Oliveira's just not had as much lost mining time. He's been a bit more consistent with his upgrades, so it does feel like Oliveira is ahead. I mean, well, yeah, I can read numbers good, guys. I don't know if you guys learned this hot commentary tip. If you guys want to become a professional StarCraft commentator, you want to read the supply number, but then give other reasons other than supply. You're like, Oliveira is really just out multitasking Clem right now. Like, don't just reference the numbers. I'm giving away the secrets of Todd, honestly, let's be honest, Todd revealed those secrets years ago by literally his trademark line was look at the supply, or Luca di supply, as his French accent turned it into. Oliveira has more stuff. Army supply especially is where he's leading, but he's also got a 4th base landed. I'm surprised he's not building more workers here, because I think he could build upon that economic advantage and put himself in an almost unlosable position. Liberator 36 is coming across the map, guys. 4 libs have died this game. This is actually the 5th one. But it's not going to do anything because nothing else is happening. I think the Liberas is really good when other things are happening. At the level where we're at, it's not going to do much when you do it in isolation. Marines here for Oliveira, forward pressuring. He's building some SCVs, finally. Feels like both players are kind of locked in a low economy game for a while here. I love that Oliveira is the first one to say, you know what, let's keep building economy. I'm making Ravens off my second starport. I'm going +2 vehicle weapons. You're not even finished +1 yet. I'm a little ahead of my 3-3. Clem, on the other hand, is like, I am just stuck on 54 workers in survival mode. He finally queues up a single worker as this fourth base is getting ready to float out. A few more workers queuing up for both sides. Looks like they're ready to reset for a longer game. If we look at the unit count, there should be a big tank advantage for Ollie. No. Oliveira stopped building tanks. Actually, no. Clem built a faster second factory. That's it. He had a much faster second factory. That's why he recovered his tank count. Hats off to Clem for that. Clem is very good at making recoveries in StarCraft. Oh, he's out in the open though. Anti-armor missiles landing on top. Oh, big marine spready here from Oliveira. Beautiful angle for him, and I think he's going to break the tank line. It's so close. There's not many marines. He gets rid of most of the tanks. There's only 2 or 3 left now. That tank is going to do well. He could land the Vikings, but it's a bit dangerous. You don't want to throw your air advantage away. And now 9 tanks versus 5. The marines have been completely removed from the map for both sides. 5th command center's on the way. And it looks like Oliveira, after playing a fantastic, just flowing pressure opening, double port Viking lib tank to start into a macro game. And he's now building an extra starport. 5th command center, constant Raven production. Marines on the right side for Clem, looking for any Vikings that stray in front of the main army. Clem does have control of his 4th base, but he just doesn't have any numbers. So he can't move out for a counter drop because he has so few units to even defend the frontal push. Thanks, Joe, for the sub. Appreciate it, dude. Since tower's going to go down. He's thinking about going left, but look, Oliveira's even got coverage on that middle ramp to a certain extent. This is an awkward spot to be in. Marine count's not bad for Clem. You can see he's leaning into it, whereas Oliveira's been focusing more on tanks, ravens, upgrades. He's more like, just focus on the important units, whereas Clem is like, hold that marine key down, dude. The libs come forward, tanks being forced backwards. This allows Oliveira in range of the planetary. I think he's in range of the tanks as well, to be fair. Gets rid of one of them, and the libs sieging forwards. This is a problem. On the counterattack, not many units there. I'm surprised Oliveira left himself so open. So open to the counterattack. He's going to lose a whole mineral line here, trying to hang on to this position. And he's going to get rid of the 4th base. Libs are denying stuff, but 20 SCVs go down very quickly. Oliveira's still miles ahead on the army, but he should just lift that base, give it up, pull it back, let the tanks defend, let your rally point defend here. As he does take out the 4th. Clem stuck on 3 base. Killing 20 workers is not enough. You've got a new 5th base going up on the gold base as well. Clem, it's good that he's bringing the fight elsewhere. But oh no, tanks are now going to siege this ledge. Yeah, he's going to siege this ledge, man. And Clem is like more desperate than ever. He's going to go across the map with his entire army. Surprisingly, Oliveira is not scanning that. Oliveira needs to just turtle up and survive at home. He's going to have to move to a more central position. Give up this base, I think. He scans. He sees the army's not there. He's going to try and shove in to punish Clem for leaving nothing at home. Clem's pulling his whole army home. Clem is pulling his whole army home. But I don't think it matters. That's too many tanks. You can't break that. Oh, Clem's in trouble. Stuck between a tank and a marine place right now. His units are taking massive shots. And the libs are such a problem, man. He's going to stim on the lib. Does get rid of it. Nicely done. The marines pick up here as there are tanks on the high ground as well. Going to try and drop on top of Clem. Does get a single one there. The Vikings taking out a few medevacs, but one of them dies to the marines as well. And I think as Oliveira, you've just got no pressure on you. Clem has his economy denied, his army getting whittled down, and he has to tap out in game 1. I thought Oliveira could kill a 2-on-1 with this. I thought he could. The empty medevac was 300 IQ. Yeah, you can really tell Oliveira has a lot more attention on his craft than most other Terrans right now. I feel like his creativity is really like popping. Clem's still a very good mechanical player, but you could tell Oliveira is like obsessed over being the best right now. Because that empty medevac is the perfect setup for this build. It really is. It's the perfect setup. Now, to be fair, this second tank felt kind of late. I don't know if it is or not. It feels like it goes straight across the map, but Clem was very quick to get outside of his base. So hats off to him for that one. And do we already change the rally point? I guess it just takes a while to rally out these expensive air units, right? Clem gets out that right side. 2 depots and a reacted barracks going down. It's so big, man. And he honestly could have pushed in, right? Even further. You just got to be careful about getting surrounded. If he pushed right into that mineral line, that might have actually been the play there. But losing the tank? Yeah, maybe he couldn't get the win. And to be fair, he probably doesn't need to, right? He just gets... Already killing that barracks is so big. It's so big because like there's no scary counter attack. Even with this fight going so well for Clem, Clem's like, I'm building one Marine at a time with stim and soon shields. Like, uh-oh, I need to wait for these barracks before I can build more stuff. Fair enough. Really good transition for Oliveira. Vikings and Libs harassing while just kind of macroing up. Beautiful play. All right, it's now or never. Team Liquid's going out if you can't win this map, Clem. In the top left now of Ghost River. Oliveira in the top right. That empty medevac, I just love it. Empty medevac into a 2-port style. I feel like you never see that build. It's always Raven into 2-starport. So my man totally befuddled Clem with that opening, and I just love it. I feel like Oliveira is so much more switched on than all the other Terrans in terms of build creativity right now. Other players, same old thing, same old. Not a lot of, you know, little adjustments, little details being added to their play. Oliveira, and he was kind of scathing, right? In that interview after Dallas, where he's like, oh, watching the other Terrans, I don't think they're trying very hard right now. I think there's a lot of effort they could be putting in because their macro isn't very good and their builds aren't very tight. And I was like, damn, dog. And I was like, and it's true, right? If you look at his results at Dallas compared to everyone else's, especially when you factor in that he really stands by the fact that he's not as talented as these other guys. I don't know how true that is. It's always hard to differentiate talent versus hard work because they're, you know, they go hand in hand, right? But he kind of, I think, feels like he's just outworking all the other Terrans right now. And it's kind of cool to see. It's not like he was bragging about this. This is obviously, he was having a discussion with the Chinese commentators on stream. It got transcribed, but they were kind of like, yeah, like what's wrong with, you know, Maru versus Serral? Oliveira was like, his build sucked. He's like, he did really old, outdated builds. Like when he tried to turtle to late game, he didn't build a 4th command center until after he went 5 barracks, 2 factory. You're meant to build it off 3 barracks, 1 factory, then go for the extra production. You know, he was like pointing out like these little edges that Maru just wasn't going for that you're meant to go for, and just different little build order adjustments. Clem, of course, struggling against Protoss as well. Does Oliveira stream? If he does, it would probably be on what website? Like DoYou or one of these other Chinese streaming websites that they have. So I'm not sure if he does or not. I don't think there's much like transcribed, you know, like subtitled footage of it, if so. But I think Oliveira is very much a guy who likes to just practice super hard in secret, grind games with Serral, see what he can do. Command center is there as well. Factory comes up. Is this reactor first? No, this was Reaper versus Reaper. Both of them going double gas expands. Oliveira did not scout. Clem, he scouted just for proxies with his Reaper, and that's it. They've both gone upwards after, but in this case, it's 3 Reaper. Looks like 2 Hellion for Oliveira. Up against reacted Marine Cyclone for Clem. Clem's opening, better defensively. Oliveira is better for map control. It's going to be a bit more mobile, but he's dumping more gas into these Reapers, and they don't scale well, whereas the Cyclone, let's put it this way, Reaper is a good unit up to 4 minutes in the game. Cyclone's a good unit up to like 6 minutes. Tanks are always good, right? That's kind of the thing. If you build tanks straight away, you're building a unit that's going to scale way better to the late game. It's just not as mobile and doesn't have all the different movement, mobility of the Reaper. It doesn't have the anti-air abilities of the Cyclone. This is why at low level, you see people just build tanks straight away. And it's like, well, yeah, it makes sense. That unit scales well, right? You don't have to like use it straight away to get value out of it. In this case, Cyclones are going to give a bit more value for Clem. And Oliveira does get a Cyclone before going for a tech lab of his own and a starport. But he's being defensive. I think he was kind of hoping Clem would overextend aggressively and he'd have extra units to punish it. But he's now building his own reactor. It's not a massive commitment by any means. And we do have, of course, a Hellion snipe there. Much quicker starport for Clem as well because he saved the gas by not building those Reapers. Whereas you can see the starport hasn't even started its first unit. That medevac's already coming across the map. This is going to be 2 Cyclones, 6 Marines, 1 Reaper. A pretty fierce pressure if that tank isn't out. If you can kill 1 or 2 of these Reapers as well, that's massive. Oliveira, you got to react fast, bro. Get out of here. Get out. Good grenades. Saves himself. Ooh, he's got to pull back, though. He needs that tank. Tank's still like 8 seconds away. I think he should have pulled back. I don't know if he should fight before the tank's out. Scary moment in the game here for Oliveira. Seconds matter. And just those couple of seconds before the tank pop out, enough to find massive damage. The tank will get a big boom boom on that Cyclone. And taking out some of those retreating Marines as well. Gets a lock onto the enemy medevac, but that means the Cyclones can fight you. Got to be careful there. And beautiful trade there by Clem. 6 SCVs. 3 Reapers, a Hellion, 3 Marines for what? A Reaper and 4 Marines? Wow, and he can go back, repair these Cyclones. That is value town. Third command center does go down for Oliveira a little bit earlier. That will aid him in his recovery. But I feel like Clem doesn't care. I think he's going to push with 3 tanks and 2 to 3 ravens and potentially kill Oliveira. Because Oliveira, by building the third command center, he's like not got enough gas for tank production right now. Yes, he's making ravens as well. But the skipping the tank production here is awkward. Obviously, the 4th gas has to be delayed. He's building a depot ahead of time before he gets supply blocked, which is nice. And that second starport, ladies and gentlemen, TVT is all about this. Can you guys believe it? I haven't seen Special active lately. I don't know if he's thinking about retiring or not, because I haven't seen him streaming as much as well. I don't know if you guys have heard anything about WEIBO, but I feel like he must be a little bit sad. He was spamming 2 starport tank Viking openings for the last, like, 4 years, and always having fun games that were surprisingly close against top players. I think the problem he had is he would just push too far with it. He would just try to go battle cruisers after or something super gimmicky or play mech every game. But these days, people are just like, no, go Viking tank lib, get the advantage, and then bam, you go into bio. You just play a normal game from there, but you establish an advantage. Sometimes you straight up win the game with it as well. And it's kind of cool to see that, you know, he was ahead of the meta a little bit. Like, there's a number of times he was smashing Beyond with these openings, and then Beyond would make a miraculous comeback versus mech in the late game or something. And you'd be like, damn, dude, it almost worked. So it's kind of crazy because, yeah, those creative guys like Special, I feel like there's a lot to be learnt from watching their styles, especially when you think, oh, this is a silly style, and then it's surprisingly effective. I think it's always worth studying and going, okay, maybe they didn't do it perfectly. Maybe I can take a little bit of the special sauce off it, make it a little bit more solid. All right, guys in the chat, I don't know if the mods are gonna need to ban you. Can you just not be spamming links in my chat? I get what you're trying to do. Are you trying to be nice? But please. Anyways, Ravens and tanks sieging up here. We've got 4 siege tanks for Oliveira. Only 3 for Clem, but Clem's got the air control. He's just going to go for the break. Interference matrices go down. Nice matrices. One more. He needs one more. He gets one more matrix on the tank. The tanks do get a siege up, but he's already lost 20 workers. Oliveira's matrices from the north were fantastic, but my golly, 20 workers just wiped off the face of this planet. Obi-Wan Kenobi feels a horrible disturbance in the Force because Oliveira's economy just got wrecked. 20 workers simply to regain position. He knew that he was screwed here. He wouldn't be able to defend his third base. He was contained for the rest of this game, losing the Viking War. There's no path back into that game, especially not against a 2-starport Terran. GG, well played. We are getting an ace match, ladies and gentlemen. All right, guys. Clem in the bottom right side. He got one back there. A nice start for him, that cyclone pressure. I think Oliveira should have pulled his workers back behind the base, pulled back his units, and if Clem came in deep, the tank could have joined from the high ground with some more Marines, and it could have gone his way. But always a little dangerous if you delay the reactor and then you don't get any value out of your Reapers, and your opponent was just straight up to a faster Marine count, potentially faster starport, gets in there and gets aggressive, it can really cause some big issues. Big, do you still have any of that OG SE2 Razor gear from 2011-2012 that showed your APM when playing? I had the headset and sold it many years ago because I was poor as crap and I needed rent money. And I had the headset. Basically, you could change the color profile like based on different APM windows. So you get up above 300 APM and it turns like blazing white or something, or bright red. I think I had pink set as like the highest APM. So if I was above 300 APM, it would go nice hot pink. It was a cool headset. That was some very cool gear. I did like that gear. I sold it to another guy in the StarCraft scene because, yeah, let's just say my first 5-6 years in StarCraft, little tough to feed myself. Very supportive girlfriend, now waifu, thankfully helped. Otherwise, I probably would have been, you know, doing a Nathanias and finding someone's couch to sleep on, like he did back in the day. And while I tried to make it, I guess, but no, it was good. It was some cool stuff. I'm quite sure. Yeah, and she actually gave that to me as a gift as well. But we were so poor that we had to sell it. It was a special time. Anyways, very thankful. Don't need to be constantly selling headsets and keyboards and things these days, but it was good. You know, you meet at the LAN, you're like, who wants a headset? Someone gives you some cash in your hand and you're good for another week. Good times, man. Apparently the mouse was garbage. Yeah, I only used the headset. And I mean, it was a headset. It was fine. I have meat pie money. Ever since I did my subathon, guys, I get the fancy frozen meat pies. So it's like bachelor food, but for rich people, you know? You know, like bachelors just live on frozen pizzas, pizza pockets and stuff. These days, I buy the fancy meat pies when they're at half price. I stock up. I haven't had a meat pie in like a month, guys. They just went on special again. I bought 10 boxes of meat pies. I'm an adult who actually cooks a surprising amount of healthy, good food and vegetables. But in between those cooking bouts, I eat a bunch of frozen meat pies because I'm a legend. That's just, it's the Australian diet. It's the Herbert Adams brand in Australia. I'm like, these guys should give me a sponsorship. I talk them up. Their cab sav, caramelized onion, bloody beef stew pie is actually just one of the best meat pies ever. It's so good, man. It's such a good, for a frozen thing in a box, it is top tier. It is the best. Their chicken and camembert one is not bad. It's a good, it's the other one. I'll buy like 2 boxes of those and 8 boxes of the cab sav caramelized onion one. Because that one is just, top tier, dude. Yeah. Anyway, sorry guys, let's talk about the games. I'm sorry, there's people who are like, what? Shooting it just for like the ace match of the sick Team Liquid series versus WEIBO, and they're like, meat pies, yes, I can relate. Yeah, no, pastry, bloody beef. It's basically beef stew and a pastry, guys. So yeah, Americans are always confused by that. What's a meat pie? Just think of a beef stew, a pot roast. You guys might call it a pot roast, a pot lick, or something like that. You guys have some interesting names for it. Think of that. Just a good beef stew inside some buttery pastry that's nice and flaky. It's gonna be good. Like there's no way to go wrong. Fully enclosed in the pastry. It's not like a shepherd's pie, like a proper, just like, you know, the meat is just, you put a bunch of it inside there. Yeah. Here we go, guys. Tank drop coming in really early for Oliveira. This is a risky drop. This could go terribly wrong. If the Cyclone can kill this, it's terrible. He goes for the instant siege. Oh no, it's a huge gamble. Cyclone punishes him. Oh, he friendly fired himself a little bit as well. He does get a few SCVs. This was, if the Cyclone was on the natural, that's the sort of move that pays off big. But dude, that Cyclone and stuff were just outside of his vision. He didn't want to scan, because if he scans, he gives away what he's doing. Clem would immediately move to the main base to block the drop. But that was actually just such, you could say bad luck for Oliveira, but he took a big gamble. He gets 5 SCVs, which does give him an economic bit of momentum, but now he's on the back foot army-wise, and in comes the Raven for revenge. Clem, a little bit of counter-harassment. Liberator's coming in for Oliveira. Dude, Oliveira is addicted to Liberators, guys. Oh, okay, does react quickly, but doesn't react to the Raven very quickly, which means 3. Does he get a 4th? Oh, 4 SCVs for 1 auto turret is massive. That's big. Reaper runs in, gets nothing. Oliveira needs to slow down. He's got to chill. He's not going to get damage with a single lib on its own. He's trying to find damage. He's trying to force it, though. Oliveira, I like that. Go in, go out. I don't mind that. It's the moment you try to force it, that's where things go terribly wrong. But if you're just like, okay, poke in, poke out, see what I can find, I like that. That shows that he's got really good kind of overall awareness right now. Damages the Raven, chases that out of the main, and he's got a 3rd command center already almost finished. Meanwhile, Clem just starting his. Oliveira down 3 workers right now, but I think still a pretty close game. You got to realize that the Marine count, 5 ahead for Clem. More importantly, Clem is 3 Ravens against 1. 2nd Raven and Interference Matrix are only now coming in. So there's going to be a pretty big income advantage for quite a while. Now this here is much like watching someone in a mobility scooter chase someone else in a mobility scooter and hit them, not even with a stick. It's like, I don't know, something that doesn't really do actual damage. Hey, forces the auto turret out, but the Raven does save itself for that auto turret. It's. Oh, did you guys see the video of, there was a guy who was apparently, it was one of these like predator catching things where the guy apparently was trying to meet up with an underage girl, and there's this like Canadian guy who's like caught him there or whatever, and the guy's trying to like avoid the confrontation by getting away in this little buggy mobility scooter looking thing that has like Toronto Raptors logos all over it. But it's like the weirdest like vehicle it looks like, it's like a golf buggy and a mobility scooter had a baby. And it's basically a guy like speed walking alongside him in a car park being like, Jeffrey, why are you trying to meet a 15-year-old girl, Jeffrey? This is so bad. It was just one of the most comical videos ever, and it basically was exactly what we just saw with that chase. What we are also seeing now, back on point with the game, is a big push, and he can Interference Matrix every tank and just kill him. If he Interference Matrixes all the tanks, Oliveira is down on Marines, down on everything. Oh, but Clem plays it slow. I think Clem should probably just go for the forward siege right now. He's got enough Matrix energy. There's only two Matrixes on Oliveira's side. Quick on Siege. Beautiful on Siege. That was great. So now Clem wastes a Siege. You pull back, you repair that tank potentially. Oliveira's doing a masterful job of hanging on. Lib goes in, but look at this. Clem dotting his I's, crossing his T's, staying safe. The Cyclone's in position to shut that down. Back on the front. This is the more important fight. We'll check in on that Liberator in a moment. Oh, Clem's not watching. It's actually going to get the Siege up. It will get some damage. We'll see how much damage that can stack. Here comes the Viking Raven. Interference Matrix to win the air war. I was not expecting that. Rather than using it on the tanks, he uses it to win the Viking fight. The Liberator does get 4 SCVs before the Viking deals with it. Clem forgetting about the Cyclone on the edge of his main base completely because there's a bit too much going on at the front right now. Oliveira's up 5 workers, but he's got to actually... Oh no, he wasted all of his Matrixes and now he loses all of his tanks. Oh no! Matrixing the enemy Vikings means Clem gets a massive tank marine position. Oliveira should not have used his Matrixes to take out the Vikings unless he could use that to then remove the Ravens. And Clem capitalizes. That was it. He just crushes him. I want to show you guys that previous fight. These Matrixes, he was like, if I take air control, maybe I can be okay here. But he forgets, as long as if he keeps his Ravens alive, Clem can just interference Matrix every one of your tanks, and now you've only got 1 Matrix to counter that. That's a big mistake for Oliveira there. He was up on workers, production was pretty similar, upgrades are pretty similar, but the moment those 4 Matrixes go down and you've only got 1 to answer it, your Marines come forward in a clump just a second before Stim was done as well. Oh, brutal victory there for Clem. Really well played, and he does close it out for Team Liquid. GG, well played. Very nice.